Hello world, Shelly here, and it's time for another episode of Foundation Fest, and today I am checking out from Laura Mercier, the, what is this called? Real Flawless Weightless Perfecting Foundation. Retails for $48 for 1 ounce or 30 milliliters of product. Comes in 30 different shades. I've got this in 1C2 Chiffon, which is described as fair with cool undertones. This is vegan and Laura Mercier is cruelty-free. They describe it as long-wearing, medium coverage, waterproof, natural finish. It's a weightless foundation that blurs the line between makeup and skin with medium buildable coverage, waterproof wear, and up to 12 hours of fade-proof wear. Let's take a look. Highlighted ingredients: high-resolution pigments and 3D smoothing, priming powders, perfecting cake-free coverage. Wow, this is getting heavy. Optimal color laydown with less product. Good to note. Note to self. Use a little bit less. Blurring bamboo silk powders and hydrolipid matrix. Balance moisture and shine control to maintain skin's optimal state. I got no shine, so a little nervous about that one. Camellia seed, vitamin E, and cacao extract antioxidant-rich formula helps defend against damage by external stressors. I feel like this really could be like a superhero movie intro or something. A big list of stuff that's not in it. It doesn't have the Clean at Sephora mark, but there is a big list of stuff that's not in it, and it is less than 1% of synthetic fragrance. Gluten-free packaging is recyclable. It is very pretty. It's a nice, like, frosted glass bottle, and I like the shape of it. It's like an oval, and we've got a pump going on. So let's take a look at 1C2 Chiffon swatched against a few others in my collection. Swatch time. First up is today's foundation from Laura Mercier, the Real Flawless Foundation in 1C2 Chiffon. Second, I've got from Estee Lauder, the Double Wear Stay in Place in 1C1 Cool Bone. Third up is MAC Studio Sculpt in NW15. And last, I've got from Wet n Wild, the Tinted Hydrator in Fair. I already cleansed, moisturized, and sunscreened this 48-year-old face. I happen to be wearing the Good Molecule Sheer Mineral Sunscreen SPF 30. It wears very nicely under makeup. If you are part of my Patreon, I just posted, it'll be last week by the time you see this, but a big old breakdown of sunscreens. Wear your sunscreen every single day. I broke down the chemical versus the physical, the different ingredients in them, why I prefer the EU sunscreens. Although the US did approve one ingredient in 2022, first one since 1996 that they have approved. Never mind the fact that it's an ingredient that has been approved in Europe since literally the year 2000, like 23 years ago. But anyway, good move, USA, good move. Progress. Progress is good. Anyway, I like this sunscreen. It's a good one. Nice mineral sunscreen. I will go in on one side of my face with a dampened sponge. Other side, I will use a brush. This is my Sigma F80. We'll see if there is a preference. Where is my little butterfly palette? Found it. Let's check out the consistency on this one. I like that the pump is a very short pump distance so that you don't get a ton of product out. They say you don't need a lot, so I'm going to go err on the side of less product. Not super drippy, but I think that plays, like, that's well thought through. If you don't need as much product, then don't make a pump that pumps out too much product, you know? So, like, I think that was probably intentional. I have no primer on today. We are just going to roll with what we got on this mug. I think this is going to be a good shade right off the bat. This is my first impression of the color. Let's see here. Yes, my hair is very bright for those of you that are like, whoa. Brighter than I anticipated. It is a brand of hair dye I've never tried before. Iro, I-R-O, I don't know how to say it. I was convinced to try it by the girl with cute pink hair at Sally Beauty. And it smells phenomenal. I have a picture of it. Oh, I think it was in my stories. It was on Instagram, so you probably, if you saw it, you saw it. If you didn't, it's gone now. But Yeah, it's bright. It took really well. I also bleached my roots, as you see. But, it's fun. I don't know if I will do this shade again in the future, but, it'll be fun while it lasts. Pretty light coverage with the sponge in one pass, but a very skin-like but improved kind of look to them. Okay, let's keep going. Let's see what we got going on here. Kind of liking this. We've had a lot of dewy foundations, I feel like, recently, and this one seems like just your typical nice satin finish, which, you know, it's good to have some of those too. Well, let's try the brush side. I do have some peeling going on down by my chin. What else is new? I thought my snake-like skin was gone for a couple months. You know, it was here, and then I thought I finally beat it, and then it came back the other day. I have a feeling this has got to be something like hormonal or menopausal or something, because, I mean, I do typically shed like a snake every 2 months or so, but this has been just weird and peely and weird. It's probably something hormonal. Yeah, little slightly higher coverage with the brush, but I'd say it's not very much different. The finish looks identical either way, so I think you can go either way, whatever your preference is. It has a nice little bit of reflect to it, but it's not super dewy. I think, well, got a little settling in my forehead line. Let's make sure that was not just user error. Let's try and build this up a little. I kind of like it. They say you can get to medium buildable. Let's do one more little pump, because, you know, their pumps it's very small. But I think that's a good thing, because you don't need a ton of product on this one. But I'm just going to try to build up and use a little bit as concealer. You know, my blood vessel, my sunspots. Let's just try and build a little bit. I think I'm going to take it into, I like the texture of this, so I'm going to take it into my inner corner too. Let's just do it. Let's do the thing. This one doesn't seem to dry down too quickly, so you have a little bit of time to work, which I like. It feels hydrating under my eyes, which I also like, because some foundations, while they are not drying on the face, they do dry my under eyes out. So this one seems to have enough hydration, at least to kick things off, to not feel dry under the eye. Let's make sure the nostrils are covered. Let's not forget to build this side. You know, I liked it better in one layer. It gets a little bit, like I can just tell where I have a second layer. I can tell that I built it up. So you kind of lose a little bit of that skin-like finish. I'm going to try to blend it to high heaven and see if we can get it to calm back down into the skin and look as nice as it did in one layer. It's work with this one. Give it a little bit of love, because it is coming around. It is melting down. It is blending a little better. Give it some time. Just give it a little bit of, zhuzh it up a little bit. It seems to get there. Yeah, we're getting there. All right. Let's zoom in and get a look at this one. I have a fleck of dirt on my cheek. Hopefully that's gone by the time I film the close-up. It does cling a little bit to, I can see the edges of my peeling skin, and I could not see them in one layer. So I feel like the building up process is what made those little peelies visible. So if you are in that situation, I would stick to one layer, because I did not see any of that going on in the first layer I put down. It is doing a nice job with coverage. It is, I would say, slightly pore blurring. I would say it is also slightly texture blurring, which is nice. We're going to have to see if it settles anymore. It seems like it might want to, so I might have one more round of tapping this out to go. It's a little clingy on some dry skin above my nose ring side eyebrow, but generally I think at a conversational distance it looks really nice. I would call this light medium coverage. We're in the medium range at 2 layers, but we're not like deep into that medium range. I would call it light medium. I like the finish of it. I feel like it's got like just enough reflect that you don't lose dimension in the face, but it's not so much, I wouldn't call it dewy. It's not like super brightly glowy or very reflective. So I like the finish. I like the finish. I like the shade. I like the feel. Super lightweight feeling. Feels super, super, super lightweight. We'll give it a minute to set down. I am going to check the time. It is 11:34. Let me go put the rest of my face on. I will be right back. All right, back with the Laura Mercier. So far, so good. I actually want to say that I think for as peely as I am, it's actually holding up pretty well. It's handling it pretty well. It's, you know, nothing's going to make literal pieces of peeling skin disappear visually, but I think it is not accentuating that, and I think it's kind of hiding it as well as that's going to happen. So bravo, that is going well. On the rest of my face, my eyes, I have this Flower Beauty ET palette, and I gotta say, the color curation is ridiculous. I had to use my bronzer. There's no transition shade in here, so I used my bronzer as my transition. That dark blue matte, which is like the only matte you could really use in the crease, looks weird. But the shimmers are gorgeous. They kind of remind me of the ColourPop Super Shock shadows. So I'm wearing I'm wearing 3 of them. This one's just a straight up blue shimmer. This one is a duochrome that is on most of my lid. This one I tried to calm down my crease a little bit, even though it is a shimmer. This one is gorgeous. It's a pink shift duochrome. So I actually probably would buy this palette again just for the shimmer shades, but know that you're probably not going to get a look just out of this palette alone. It's just missing a crease color or a darker matte if you use the blue in the crease, and it's missing a transition color. But the shimmers are beautiful. So that is that. That's what's on my eyes. Brows and mascara are lawless. My blush, bronzer, highlight, well, I showed you my bronzer. Balm Desert, I think I need a new one. This one's a million years old, I'm sure. It's getting like hard, and it doesn't pick up much product and blend as nicely. I gotta get a new one. This one's a million years old, but it's my favorite. I'm trying to will summer into existence, or at least spring. And this is like my favorite reddish toned bronzer, which is perfect in the summer for me. So I'm trying to will it into existence. My blush is Color Street Diva. Highlight, I probably should have used all cream products today, but I didn't. I used the new Color Street Highlighter Balm in Superstar. I probably, just because I'm peeling so much, I should have just used all cream. I did not. Whatever. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. It's all good. And my lip, where did it go? It's getting hidden. Not Color Street, CoverGirl, all the C's. Clean, fresh, yummy gloss. This is the one. Sherlock, come help me, please. What is this shade? Lavender. Weird. So that is where we are starting out. I'm going to be sitting in student presentations all day. My seniors are giving their second capstone presentations to our project clients, so I will be doing that all day. And but first I gotta get a sandwich, because of course I do. And so I'll try to get a daylight check-in. I think daylight savings already hit, so I should be good even when I get out of work, because I can't get up and leave while the presentations are going on, but I think we'll still have daylight when I get out. So let's hope I remember. Let's hope this bleach didn't sink into my brain. And then I will come back tonight, give you guys my final thoughts. Daylight check-in, I remembered. It's the first time I'm looking at my face. Shade match. I think I can step out into full sun, but here's the shade. Let me see here. Can I do this without getting hit by a car? That was the question. All right, which way should I go? Whoa! All right, the seriously full sun. Here we go. I think it holds up well, even in bright daylight. Ooh, little sun flare. That's so pretty. It's a little more dewy, I think, than it was to begin with. Am I losing coverage on my nose? Why does my nose look red? I'm not sure. Can't tell quite so much. But wow, this hair is like neon. I feel like I'm a little dehydrated with all the drag lines showing as much as they are. And it's not that I've been drinking water all day long, so that would be the product. Yeah, just see how the texture of my skin is a little dehydrated? We'll see. We'll see how this goes throughout the day. Just leaving my presentations now. So, that's where we're at. What time is it? 5:47. I'll be back tonight and we'll wrap this one up. 9:25 p.m. I think that puts us right around the 10-hour mark. Let's take a look at how the Laura Mercier foundation held up. Yes, I am in the middle of taking my nail polish. I was changing my nail polish, but I always do that right before bed. And I am a super high flight risk tonight. Flight risk meaning flight to my pillow. So tired. I'm so tired. And I always do my nails right before I go to bed. And I'm like, oh no, if you finish, you are going to go to bed and you're going to forget about this whole thing. And so I just stopped so I could do this. I don't even think I'm going to finish my nail. I think I'm going to go to bed and I'm going to finish them tomorrow. But let's take a look at how the Laura Mercier held up. It's super comfortable. But like I was noticing earlier today, I do think it dried my skin out a little bit or dehydrated my skin a little bit. All that oil control stuff seems to be a little too much for those of us that don't produce any oil. I really don't produce body oil at all. Like, I don't know why, but I just don't. So I do feel like I'm a little bit dehydrated. My skin's a little bit tight. That said, I'm not feeling like itchy or anything, so it's not extreme. I would call it slightly drying. Now, it is to the point where I think that it's such a small amount of dryingness that summertime this might actually be just fine for me when it's more humid outside and I've got less environmental dehydration contributing to the dehydration. So that's a thing. In terms of the comfort level, it's super comfortable. Didn't even think about wearing makeup all day. Super lightweight. The fact that it can handle what is fairly severe peeling of skin right now, like, it handled it quite well, and it really didn't get worse throughout the day. I mean, you can still see the areas, especially my chin, but I think it handled it as well as anything ever does. So bravo to that. Let's zoom in so you guys can see what is going on here, because actually the conversational distance, I think everything still looks pretty good. So let's zoom in. The peeling on my chin is where I've lost the most coverage as well, but honestly, blush, bronzer, highlights still look, do the kids still say on fleek? Like, they still look pretty doggone fresh. Like, it's not settling into lines, even my deeper lines. I would still say at the end of the day, it is looking smooth on texture and pores. My skin does look a tiny bit dehydrated, but it worked fairly well even as a concealer. It didn't do anything strange under my eyes. It didn't cake up anywhere. It's not settling anywhere. It didn't move around. I would say it's degrading gracefully, but it's not even really degrading. Like, I think it's holding up really, really well. Like, I would say I probably still have several hours left of wear that I could get away with wearing this. So I would call it definitely a nicely long wear foundation. I would say it is comfortable, a little bit drying if you're on the super dehydrated end of the spectrum like I am, but this might be okay in the summertime. So if I had to give a grade to the Laura Mercier, I'm going to go high A-. And maybe if this holds true and it holds up in the summertime, I'd be in the A range with it. If I can wear this without dehydration in the summertime, I think it's a really pretty finish. It's that fine line between, it's not quite matte, but it's not dewy. So if you don't like the look of the heavy reflect of a nice luminous, dewy, what I typically think of dewy is luminous, where you get light reflect. That's how I define it. I know a lot of brands have been defining luminous and dewy as not that, which confuses me, but that's my definition. That's what I mean when I am saying it. Yeah, I'm going to say solid A-. I really like it. It's really pretty. And bravo, I like the shade too. So there you have it. Another episode of Foundation Fest is in the books. If you like foundation reviews, if you had fun with this one, give me a thumbs up down below. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I post new videos every week, and check out my Patreon. I have one of those, patreon.com/geekoutofwater. I have my Roller Look eyeshadow app over there. Let me know in the comments, what eyeshadow palettes would you like me to add to that? What foundations do you want to see me pick up? We've got the Sephora sale coming up very, 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 very soon. I think it starts the second week of April, like April 14th or something. It's coming up. It's coming up. Let me know. What do I gotta buy? What do I gotta buy? I've got the Gucci on my list because we're waiting for a sale for that one, yo. Woo! Let me know in the comments. What am I missing? What do I gotta check out? What do you want to see me try? As always, thanks a lot for taking some time out of your day to geek out over makeup with me. I appreciate your time, and I hope you guys all have an awesome day or night wherever you are in the world. Take care of each other. Bye-bye.